So as I mentioned in the previous slide, there are ways to ineffectively communicate. I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on those. I know I kind of touched base. So some of the things that cause ineffective communication is assuming you know what the person is going to say. And I know we've all been in that situation. You think, I know what they're going to say, I don't need to listen. And then it turns around and it bites you in the butt because you assumed. So you never want to assume you know what someone's going to say. Rather, ask for more information or clarification so that you know exactly what their message is and how they wanted you to receive it. Another poor tool of communication is interrupting or ignoring. So you're in a deep conversation with somebody and you really want to say something, so you just blurt it out and you interrupt what they're saying. Well, it comes off kind of rude, and then it shows that you don't really care what they have to say and that your thought is more important. And that's why you had to interrupt them to get it across. Or simply you could just be ignoring them. You don't care what they have to say, so you're just going to sit there and stare in a different direction, completely ignore them. And they can sense that. They can sense that you're not involved in the communication process, that you're not listening, you don't care what they have to say, and then that's going to create conflict. And again, that's where we need to resolve the conflict early on so that it doesn't build over time and create more problems for the communication process and for teamwork. And then another thing is you want to hold eye contact. If you're avoiding eye contact, it means you're not comfortable. It could show that you really don't care what they have to say. Again, poor communication. Also, back to nonverbal cues. If you're saying, yeah, I really understand and I'm sorry, but your body language isn't presenting that, then you're contradicting yourself. Instead, your body language could be saying, I don't really care what you have to say, I don't feel bad for you. If your posture is good and you're actively involved and you're not slumped over like you don't care, or your hands on your chin like you don't care, that's not good communication. And it's not being supportive of whether your teammate is telling you something important, or your coach, or friends, or family. Communication happens in all aspects of life, and we need to remember that we need to try to effectively communicate. And lastly, another ineffective tool in communication is your tone and the noise level. Are you trying to get something across by yelling, or are you going to gently and subtly tell them something really important? So how you say things, the level at which you say things, the background noise involved, that also plays a huge role in communication. So you need to be conscious of where your tone is. Is your tone kind of snobby, like I don't care? Are your eyebrows, clenched in? Or are you making eye contact? Yeah, I'm listening. I understand. Are you giving feedback to the person? All of these things play an important role in communication. And I hope that by me giving you these ineffective communication resources, that now you're more aware. Oh, I didn't realize, that my body language played a huge role. I didn't realize that if I was always screaming at someone, but what I was saying wasn't really important or an emergency, then that could turn them off. So maybe they weren't listening to me. And then, I wanted to add in the little clip art at the bottom that sometimes communication could be misinterpreted. So, in USA, we're saying, I'm going to go watch the football game. But if you go to another country, football could mean something completely different. So you also need to be aware of cultural differences when you're communicating, because sometimes things that might be appropriately said in your culture or, your social group, it might not be appropriate for other ones. So you need to be aware of those varying cultures and situations so that you don't disrespect anyone and so that everyone is on the same page when it comes to communication.